Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mystic Sparks. My name is Sharon Myers. If you're a returning member, welcome. And if you are a new member, thank you for joining us along. Today I want to share something deeply personal with you. How God freed me from the grip of lust, and His love became the very thing that changed my life. I know this is a struggle for so many people, and since I know a lot about this topic, I've been there too, so I know how and what to talk about. Lust has been a way of sneaking in. Lust has a way of sneaking in, especially when we feel isolated or are the lowest. I want to share my journey, not because I know it all, but because I've seen how God's love can overpower anything we struggle with. So there are 4 parts in this video, and then there's going to be a conclusion at the end. So let's start with part number 1, the struggle. For me, this battle started when I was living a life that wasn't fully surrendered to God. I was smoking and vaping and even planning evil things in my life, like skipping class just to indulge. Lust became a constant companion, especially at night when I was alone. I didn't care that God was watching. I was stuck in a cycle of sin and I couldn't break free. One thing I learned quickly is that when we're isolated with our thoughts, temptation is the strongest. And now I know many times when I was left alone with my thoughts, they were not the greatest. And I believe that lie that I could fight lust alone. And I know many people might have that same mindset, but know that you're wrong. But every time I gave in, it just got harder. Part number 2 talks about the turning point. The turning point came when I realized that I couldn't do it by myself. I thought I could fight lust head on, but I was wrong. That's what you learn from other people, that when you try to fight lust, you're wrong. That's when God spoke to me and He said something that changed everything. Our love for God should rule over the desire to sin. That's the truth that I needed to hear. As I was trying to fight sin from within sin instead of fleeing from it, because that's even what it says in the Bible, we should flee from spiritual immortality. It was time to let my love for God be greater than my desire to sin. Part number 3 talks about the surrender and victory. The day I surrendered and chose to give up my lust was the day I've truly found freedom. Now, I know people have gone through a lot of battles, and I've gone through a lot of my battles, and each time I won those battles, I felt more greater in the end than I did in the beginning, because we found freedom and finding salvation and finding grace and finding love in His presence in those times of winning those battles. I gave up porn and I stopped vaping. I didn't know how I would do it, but I just knew that I needed to let God take control. It wasn't easy. I didn't know how. It wasn't easy, and I replaced these habits with healthy ones, like chewing gum instead of vaping, and keeping my mind focused on Him rather than on sin. It wasn't something I could do on my own. I didn't even crave porn anymore, and I knew that was through God's strength. He took the desire away and replaced it with something better, His love and His presence. Now guys, if you made it to the last point, I really, really thank you. And if this has really resonated with you, give this a like and subscribe. So part number 4 talks about God's faithfulness and unexpected help. And through it all, God was faithful. He was very faithful. I started hearing from Him in ways I never expected. Whether it be through YouTube videos or sermons at church that spoke directly to what I was going through, I knew that He never left me. I didn't have help at first, and I kept my struggles to myself, and I thought I was alone. But over time, I met friends who would help me. Jules, who I'm in a relationship with, has helped me with my battles and my addiction with smoking. I started to realize that healing doesn't happen in isolation. Now, this is different from being in isolation with singleness. Now, I know that God gives us, puts us in a season of singleness to develop us from and heal us, but that's kind of different from being completely isolated. God was bringing people into my life that cared about me and about my journey. Hi, if you've made it to conclusion, I really thank you for that. If you're watching this and you're struggling with sin or any other addiction, know that you don't have to fight it alone. It's not about fighting the sin. It's about letting God's love rule over it. He's stronger than any temptation you think. And He's more than capable of setting you free. If you want to walk this faith too, take the first step. Surrender. Surrender is the first step. Surrender. Let your love for God be greater than your desire to stay in sin. Reach out for help, whether it be from a friend, a mentor, or even through prayer. You don't have to carry this alone. God is waiting to meet you exactly where you are. And there is one big thing that I know, and I think you should know it too. God loves you, and so do I.